Greetings, this is Ron Spalick,
And Fellonius the Wizard.
and we are finally here at the end of our Series 2 Hidden Gems mine.
Yes, we have digged and digged. So now
Yeah,
it's time to force rate them against each other.
that's right. We dug through 13 randomly selected maps from the Minecraft forums. We played them in alphabetical order, and we're
Except,
except for the last one, yes, we did have a download issue with one of them, so we
yeah,
pulled in a substitute, but the net is the same.
yeah,
And we're going to force rank them into 8 categories from gravel through emerald.
yeah.
Now, at the end of Series 1, we've piled up our ores, so let's head down into our Series 2 mine
Yep,
and see what we came up with.
this time.
After you, sir.
Thank you. I'm the light guy.
Oh yeah, that's right. We need to put some torches.
Oh, we start over here.
Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and do it first. So the first map that we felt was the gravel map is The Sorcerer's Revenge by Piano 9 Uber.
Yes.
So we had a little bit of interesting battles in this map, and there
Yep.
were some mobs that were using custom items.
Yes.
But overall, we felt that this map lacked transition in between the boss battles.
It was only about boss battles. That was all that it was. You
And
said it was a copy of something.
it was very, very much inspired by the high-pixel maps,
Yeah.
such as Herobrine's Mansion and Wrath of the Fallen.
Yeah.
And the problem is, I think this map maker just focused on the boss fights and left out everything else, including the decor. So everything took place inside of these giant nether rectangles.
Yes, and
And so,
it's rather dull. The build is useful, but not very good. It's
yeah.
rather ugly. And the
And,
whole experience, just having a boss fight, then you just turn around and that's the next one.
yep. So, of these 13 maps, this one was the gravel. Now, we will have ratings for all these maps on our rating threads completely separate.
Yep,
But as far as these 13, we felt this one was gravel. Would
yep,
you like to do the honors? I see some coal
yes.
over here.
Oh, yeah. This one is Minecraft Kong by BobPie6, and that was actually a creation, one level of the old Game & Watch game Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong. I think it's a good idea. I applaud people trying to remake
Yes.
classic arcade games. The problem I had with this one is you were dodging minecarts, so there was
Yep.
no real threat to your life.
Nope.
And if the minecart hit you, it just bounced away and doesn't even do anything to you.
No, and sometimes it didn't even come any new ones. But the mine parts instead of the barrels, and that's good thinking so far.
Yep,
And with the new mine carts coming up,
that might work. I think this also suffered because there was no jumping.
not
You
all.
couldn't jump over the minecart, you just had to dodge. And
Yeah,
the visual was all gray. There was no red
no,
beams that you're walking on.
nothing. Okay,
Okay,
that's the coal one.
now we have 1 iron.
Yep,
I'll go ahead and grab that one.
let's do so.
Okay. And this is Dahlias Freedom.
Yeah,
This is by Jordip. This was one of the longer maps that we played.
yeah,
And I'll just start by saying that there were some parts of the story that I really liked, particularly the flashbacks
yeah. I'm gonna steal those ones.
and the Room of Lies. Just the concept that
Yeah,
your character's really thinking about stuff.
yeah.
But then there were some parts that I really didn't like, particularly the end where you kill your own son. Spoiler, but you hopefully have already watched all these in our series.
Yes.
And I
And the
thought
build overall, it was very lousy built, or ugly at least.
it was very
Like,
plain,
yeah,
very plain. Structures were very square.
yeah,
Um, I feel like it was a little too long and unbalanced. A lot of
yeah.
parkour. Um,
I agree with you on that one.
and I think this is the one that we really struggled to decide if we should play it on peaceful or not.
Yeah.
So that was Dahlia's Freedom. That was our iron.
Yeah. All right. Now let's go to Lapis, and here's a novelty. We got
Oh,
3 of them.
yes,
Let's.
because we had 13 maps, some of these are going to get more than one. So let's both break these.
Yes, we'll take one at a time.
Oh, one at a
I
time? I
can
never
take
do
one.
anything one at a time.
No, you never do.
Okay, so
This
our
time.
Lapis rank, this is Crash Landing by Le Mans Crafter,
And Lost in the Space, the Spanish map by Christoman 0007.
and The Resort by MGN79. Which would you like to talk about first?
Well, Crash Landing and Lost in Space both is about the space. Lost in the Space is partly a bit of adventure where you should do some harm to a spaceship and then you go and survive on the moon. Crash Landing starts on some sort of moon and then you are totally unaware of what you're doing.
Crash Landing was a peaceful story map, and
Yeah,
Lost in the Space was basically a survival map with a sort of a prelude where you collect
yeah,
some items to help you in what essentially is Skyblock
yeah.
on the moon.
And then we had the resort, which was a creation that we had some sort of guided tour through.
Yeah, and it was actually a decent story. I think for a creation map, I really appreciate that extra level of effort.
Yes?
But as far as how it rates amongst all of these 3 came out in our Lapis rating.
Yes. And we haven't really got any favorite of these 3. They are Lapis, all 3.
No, I think that the nice thing that I find is that we did have an adventure, a creation, and a survival
Yeah.
all on about equal footing. So,
Yeah. There's something good and something bad in each one of these 3.
yep. All right, so let's move
Right.
on. From our gold, we have 2.
Yes.
So I'll grab the one on the left.
Yeah.
And we have The Legend of Zebedee and
By,
Potion Quest.
yeah, of A123.
So Legend of Zebedee by 220 Fourth Forge. Basically, you start off investigating some angry wolves and wind up uncovering some ancient ruins
Yeah.
um, with some boss battle that involved witches.
Yes.
We
Our
enjoyed
first one.
enjoyed that one. It was
Yes, it was 2 parts. It felt like we were running. First of all, we had to climb up to the adventure. That was rather fun, but it could have been easily made by a command block and teleportation. But then it was rather dull, just running by those wolves. But inside, when you get inside, that was very good and good puzzles as well.
yeah, the story in that one was definitely something from the map maker's real life.
Yeah.
It was in honor of a group of his friends and sort of recapping some of their tales. So that really came through in the
Yeah, but
quality.
it was like 28 pages or something. It was rather big. We didn't read all of them,
Yeah,
but it was a good story, and we could read half of it and still enjoy the map. So
yep.
it's a good one.
And paired with that, we have Potion Quest by
Yeah.
Abe123. This one was very short.
Yep.
But we felt like the build itself and just the peaceful concept, to me,
Yeah.
it reminded me very much of the old King's Quest games.
Yes.
And this was all about alchemy, which is, a lot of maps nowadays have you do alchemy, but this one is kind of teaching you how to do
Yeah.
alchemy.
And you can develop it and use it as a part of a story, or you can make it longer if you want to. I don't know what Abe123 is going to do with it, but it has all the good basic foundations for a good custom map to evolve.
Yeah, it has this charm. I found it to be very charming, just the way that it was built. And even if you go outside of the path of the map itself, you'll find that he crafted it in a watery flat world on an island instead of just a
Yeah,
plain boring flat world. So,
yeah, that was really nice. Okay, hopefully you understand and enjoy.
okay, what's next, Fellonius?
Oh, now we are going. Now we are going to the upper half
The,
for real.
the
Now we're going
redstone.
to the redstone. There are two of them,
And we have Cataclysm, Wrath of the Wither by Death Warrior 999.
and the employer. And I don't know who made that one. Do you have
This
that?
is Colonel Trout and the Scarlet Devilist.
Yes. Now these two maps, we could discuss these two for ages, but we were totally agreed on it should rate high against the others. Cataclysm is. It's raining
Uh-oh,
somewhere.
the Cataclysm has begun.
It's gone back. It's a lot of running in the nether, and it's a boss fight, of course, at the end, the Wither. But I felt it was very good, even if I'm not a big fighter. I felt it was very good. The puzzles were evenly matched, and it had that story that actually continued, and every build seemed to support the story,
Yeah,
except for one tower.
it had a bit of time travel, and
Yeah.
you're actually, following the NPCs through
Yes.
this cataclysm. I would say there was the one spot where there were just too many blaze and wither spawners,
Yeah.
but other than that, that could easily be fixed, and we felt like
Absolutely.
it holds up pretty good overall. It also had a class system,
Yep.
so you could choose your class. Now, this may not have been as enjoyable on single player
No.
because the classes really did complement each other.
Absolutely.
All right,
And
and
you
then
are a good archer as well.
speaking of arches, the next one is called the Employer, and this one was definitely interesting. It did not end the way that I thought it
Nope.
started. You're basically starting off as a delivery man, taking a package, some mysterious package to some mysterious employer,
Yep.
and as the story unfolds, it has a pretty comical ending,
Hmm.
in my opinion. This one had a variety of mini puzzles and some
Yeah.
small jumping puzzles as well.
Yeah. It was equally good balanced between the puzzles and the story. The story did elude me sometimes, I must say. But then again, it caught up in the end, and we shouldn't. If they haven't watched it, we shouldn't give them the end.
Yeah, well, I think if anyone's come this far, they've hopefully watched all the videos.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Now that's Redstone.
all right, Diamond. So we've got two Diamond maps.
Yeah.
And
This
if
is
you
fun.
if you're keeping count, we've covered 10 so far. So there's
So
these two diamonds and one emerald, and you ready?
yep.
All right. We have Trials of Fate by Dark Shadow 1223.
And Pumpkin Monster by Captain Bilal.
Awesome. So Trials of Fate, this had a really nice story and a nice build.
Yeah.
I felt like very good quests, minor level finding puzzles,
Yep.
and this is basically following the story of this mysterious volcano that erupted and a missing girl,
Yeah.
and plenty of build up to what got into yet again a sticky situation where you're given ender pearls and fire potions that could allow you to get past blazes and withers,
Yeah.
but there may be just a few too many of them.
Yes. It should be a shorter version of the end.
But I think barring that very end bit, we really enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Just the fact that there are side stories, not side quests, my friends, side stories. That little girl gone missing. We actually know that it was a girl from the start. That adventurers in the temple in the desert. That's a side story, but it helps us in order to get.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the
Yeah.
NPC books because they all sort of point you to the same place in
Yeah.
a parallel fashion. I just like the way it was was crafted. So I'm
Yeah, and you,
definitely eager to see more from Dark Shadow.
yeah, absolutely.
Now,
Now,
Pumpkin Monsters.
yeah,
I classified this one mainly as a series of mob fights. The
yeah,
story was minimal, and there
yes,
were constant spawns. It was
yeah,
almost too hard, but honestly, we got through it and we had a lot of fun.
absolutely. And there was that thing about keeping inventory. If we hadn't had that, we wouldn't have gone anyway.
Yeah, that's one thing that I definitely learned through this series is that the
Yes.
keep inventory game rule can make these maps feel a lot easier when without it they would be impossible.
Yep.
So I'm really going to be paying attention the rest of this year to how that is used
Yes.
creatively as
Yeah,
opposed to a
and the
crush.
balance and the balance between the fights and the keeping,
Yep,
because if you don't keep, if you don't have anything to keep, you are not. That's then it's no use
yep.
having it.
And if you look at Pumpkin Monsters compared to two of the other maps that we played,
Yeah.
it's similar in the fact that there are custom monsters, there are
Yep.
command blocks,
Yep.
there are boss battles, but this had some stuff in between that progressed the story, and it looked good, and it just felt a lot more balanced.
Absolutely, and we use the teleportation rather often.
All right,
Well, it's fun. Now to the last one. Does anyone know which one it is?
Emerald. The last one is Emerald, and it is the Signature by Sturvma.
Yeah.
So congrats to Sturvma as well as all the other map makers. What do we think about this one?
Well, first of all, I'm very enjoying the build, the tower and the central tower and all that stuff, but also the fact that each separate little boss fight or the quest around it was actually built in within the story. It felt really, well, sort of made for each other, totally.
Hmm. Yep. And this one again, it the highlight of this one are the 7 boss fights, which are, 3 major bosses and what I would call 4 mini bosses.
Yes.
But just the way they're put together, you can feel that Sturvma, knows what he's doing in map making.
Yeah.
And the only question that I have on this one that I still don't know the answer to is what the title has to do with the map itself.
Yeah, it
So,
could call the Princess Tower or whatever, but
yeah,
no, the signature. We
it,
haven't found that one
yeah.
yet. Please comment that one,
And,
please.
and the only other note I have on this one is again very similar to Trials of Fate, somewhat similar to Sorcerer's Revenge. I think we're going to see a lot more of these boss battle focused
Yeah.
maps in 2013. But this one I felt had the best progression of vendor items.
Yep.
So
Uh, and
you
I would
actually,
also say that the tightness of the story together with the trading and stuff, I
yeah,
think that was really good.
yeah, this one had more tiers of items that were
Yeah.
you felt like you had to work for them, not just stand in a corner and hit a mob. So
We did
that
that.
is 13 maps force
Yeah.
ranked against each other from Gravel to Emerald. That
Yep.
is Series 2 of Hidden Gems. And we
Yeah.
had a lot of fun doing this.
Absolutely. It's like a new beginning for us.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. We're going to continue to review maps individually through this year and
Yeah.
refine our rankings. But I think we may want to. I think we're going to go for a Series 3 at some point.
I think I saw one mine shaft over here. Shouldn't we go check it out?
That sounds awesome. Let's go.